Yes, hype on a Friday with E40, Keek the Sneak. I know y'all remember this song. Mm, mm. I'm kind of hyped today. I feel like I probably had way too much tea today, and I had a little bit of a Dr. Pepper too. So I'm pretty hyped today. Pretty hyped, pretty hyped. So look, DJ Didi on the ones and twos. Let's see. I will bring the track back here once I get my life together. So look, I'm out here trying to make some serious magic. And I'm trying to get my setup right. And plus so the angle on Instagram is different from the angle on Facebook, so I'm trying to get my life together. Plus I don't want to have to suck it in. I just want to, let it all hang out. So happy Friday, y'all. Day 12,672 of quarantine. But quarantine is ending. We are wrapping up. We are about to have my friend and my pal, Jeremy, on. And I think this might be, we'll find out when he gets here. This might be his first time uh, doing a live on IG. So we're going to put our heads together and make this magic happen. But while we wait for the magic to happen, what's it called? Let's have a little chitter chat. And then before I forget, let me put today's title in Instagram. How are y'all doing, Facebook? Ew, shoulder roll, yes. Shoulder roll on a Friday. So look, I think I'm a little over caffeinated. And I think I might be a little sleepy too. But praise report, my child is sleeping through the night. So this is a complete step in the right direction. I feel like it's actually setting me free. Okay, so I can't spell. Let's see. How to communicate better. That's what I'm typing into IG. How to communicate better in your presentations. I feel like that's the same exact way that I put it on Facebook, but y'all pray for me because I'd be on the struggle bus. Okay, how to communicate better in your presentations. We are gonna have Jeremy on today, and I'm so freaking excited, y'all. Let me tell you why. So this is what I like to say. You can always hire somebody to write for you. And if you know me, depending on how long you've known me, you know that I moonlight as a writing coach. Now, if you've ever worked with me, I have, there's a testimonial on my website from one of the clients that I've worked with before. And I love her to death. She's always like, oh my God, you're the truth. You should do this full time. If you know me, you know that I've done it full time. And then I stepped away from that and then took a break from entrepreneurship for about 5 seconds and then started TCS because I realized two things. A, I couldn't be in solitude in the way that I was just based on having this, writing firm. But then also for me, I just didn't understand how to like rally my life when it came to the whole writing deal to make the magic happen. Like I couldn't really get all of that together because let me tell you why. So being honest, I believe that because we all learn to write when we're 4 or 5, by the time we're adults and we realize that we need to use the skill differently, business writing, novel writing, whatever the kind of writing we need to do, blogging, article writing, whatever, we feel like because we've been writing since we're 5, that it's going to be, $3 for us to hire someone to help us. No, sis, I'm sorry. It's going to cost more than that. And, for me, I guess I couldn't find the balance between positioning myself properly in the marketplace, but then also making sure that I was charging my worth and, not allowing myself to be lowballed, like, oh, Susie charged me this. Right, but Susie can't do it like I can do it. That's why your writing still looks like that, because you were paying Susie $3. So anyway, long story long, I do still help folks with their writing as they snatch their own edges and get their life together because they've got to, write for work all the time, or they've got to write for their blog, or they're writing a book, whatever. I definitely help with that stuff, but I don't, it's not like on my front page or anything. All of that to say, you can hire someone to write for you, but you'll have to speak for yourself. And I think that's why closing out Corporate Hustlin Week with presentation skills, honestly, it seems like the way to go. So let's see. Where is Jeremy? He's missing such good chitter chat. Let's send this over his way so that he can rally. And I'm always the late one, right? Like I can never get my life together, but here we are. Let me see. Oh, let me fix my little situation back here. Okay, here we go. I gotta be set up for success over here. Y'all see I'm on the struggle bus. Okay, look, I'm always like, I need a handler. Hold on, what is this? How is this working? Jeremy?
Yeah.
So you need to tune into the live, and then I will let you in.
Okay, how do I do that?
So you will, I think that this may have cut the live off on Instagram. So
I'm so sorry, Dorothy.
You are, so you're already on Instagram. So I sent you an invitation through Instagram to tune into the show. So then when you tune in, you can request to join in.
Okay.
So you will be on Instagram. You can use the link that I sent you to your Instagram, or you can just go on Instagram and go to my page. You'll see that I'm live. You can start watching, and then you can request to be on the video.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Dorothy.
No worries, no worries. Our Facebook crew is here. Let us know if you can hear Jeremy okay, and if you can, just drop a thumbs up or like a yes, we can hear him, and then we will have you log out of here, and then I'll log back into the IG Live, and we'll see you in like a second. All right, bye. Making magic, y'all. Okay, wait, yes, we're still here. Okay, you don't want to see my my office view, do you? All right, let's turn that back around. Here we are. See, at least my office is clean. You see my inventory? I organized all my t-shirts, y'all. So I've got like the yellow plug t-shirts, the remarkable t-shirts, the black plug t-shirts. I've got everything set up and squared away. We are set up for success. So Jeremy is coming in. And then I forgot, I was going to say something else. I forgot, but I'm glad I'm getting my life together. So look, let's bring him in. And let's see, if you all in Facebook could hear him okay when we were chatting, just drop a thumbs up so that I know that we are good to go. Because as you know, we've done this before. Look, okay, I can hear him. Yes, Becky! Did you get your shirt, Becky?
Say it
again. So I'm just making sure that Becky got her shirt. She, during one of our lives with Dr. Katina, she won a plug t-shirt. So here's what I'll say. If we can get participation up to 25 between the two platforms, I will do a giveaway. Let's see. Ooh, Jana, my Jana. Welcome to Day to Day with Dorothy. Welcome. So we've got Jeremy on. So I'm gonna play my rowdy tunes for a couple seconds as we wrap up Chitter Chat, introduce myself, introduce him, and we are gonna jump in. Hopefully Facebook doesn't try my life and cut this whole situation off. But let me play. It's the clean version. Let's see what we got. Ew. You gotta get hype on a Friday. What? Yes, gotta have a little E40 in my life. So, Jeremy, you missed it. We had some chitter chat, and usually during chitter chat, we have a little bit of tunage. I usually don't play very much of it because I don't own the rights to this music and whatnot, but I try to get hype on a Friday,
Right.
try to make some magic. Um, so, if you are just now tuning in and you've never tuned in before, I am Dorothy Enriquez, the principal and founder of The Communication Strategist, a boutique learning and leadership development firm where I help ordinary people become remarkable leaders. Yes, yes, ordinary people like me, ordinary people like you, step away from being ordinary and towards remarkable. And if you are tuning into this live, I know you are not just out here trying to live this regular life. You're trying to take it to the next level. And this is our last week of daily day-to-days with Dorothy. So I was like on it during quarantine and wanted to help you all continue to develop from a distance, right? And get noticed from the couch when it comes to this leadership thing. So I wanted to close out Corporate Hustlin week with a bang. I don't know what is happening. I feel like my phone doesn't want to rally for Instagram, and I'm not sure why. So anywho, what was I saying? So yeah, I wanted to make sure that I could support you guys through quarantine, especially because what I do know is a lot of organizations stopped taking the time to develop their team members because they were just kind of trying to figure out how to survive Rona. So I hear that. I hear that. So I've got my friend and a fellow entrepreneur on the line, Jeremy. And he is, let me tell you a little bit about him, and then he's going to introduce himself as well. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Who do we have? Hello, Opulent Mind Shift. Thanks for tuning in. And thanks, hello, Becky and Jana and TCS Mommy and Daddy. Shoulder rolls for all of you. So a little bit about Jeremy, y'all, and then let me make sure that my volume is turned up all the way.
And can you hear me well, Dorothy?
I can hear you perfectly. And on Facebook, they said that they could hear you. So I think we're set up for success. All right, so as we're jumping in, hit the share button on Facebook or start like a little watch party. On Instagram, you can hit the little paper plane and make some magic that way. And let's do this. So let me tell you a little bit about Jeremy Triblett. Not to be confused with the gospel singer. Listen, I'm like, what? I feel like that's who keeps popping up every time I look for you. All right, so he is a consultant and national trainer for business professionals on youth development, staff management, and human relations. He's skilled at advancing agency-wide strategies to improve staff performance through training and technical assistance. And in his role as the leadership development and youth engagement consultant, he uses evidence-based best practices and emerging research to build the competency of direct service, management level, and executive staff. He's been featured as a keynote speaker, lead trainer, presentation designer, and coach for various organizations to include, but not limited to, the Department of Children and Families, Milwaukee County, City Year Milwaukee, Public Allies Milwaukee, the Greater Milwaukee Foundation, the Burke Foundation, the National Leadership Council. Okay, we see your receipts, sir. The Community Partnership for Health Equity and Ubuntu Research and Evaluation. All right, so that is a little bit about who we have here to help us close out Corporate Hustlin Week. Hey, Dr. Katina, thanks for tuning in and shoulder roll. So, Jeremy, I feel like I said some stuff, but I'm sure I didn't say everything. Tell us what's good.
First of all, thank you for having me, Dorothy. I appreciate just sharing your platform with you.
Yeah.
You have been absolutely blowing it out of the water, Facebook, Instagram, just really making sure that we can communicate at a higher level.
Right.
So I just want to thank you for that. Most people aren't giving away the wealth of content that you're giving out. It's not happening. People are keeping it in their back pocket.
Yeah, no, I have thought about that. I'm like, I should charge for this.
Yeah. But
yes.
One of the things, and I know I'm supposed to be introducing myself, but when you're talking to friends, you're talking to friends, right? So One of the things that I've come to learn in business is people will buy something these days they want to try it first. And Instagram and
Mm.
Facebook are those places where they can try that product out.
Yeah.
Don't give me a dollar sign before you give me value first, right? And so
Look, you gotta date me first, take me out to eat. You know what I'm saying? We can't just go straight to Netflix and chill.
oh my gosh. I promise you, the field is so saturated with people who are trying to make sure they get their hustle on and all power to us.
Right.
And so therefore, because the field is so saturated, people got to know, hey, where's your website? Where's your Instagram? Where's something that lets me know who you are a little bit. So the dating happens. For me in my career, I actually began as a youth worker. I began working with teenagers. And so for me, it began with how can I keep a teenager's attention for 2 hours straight? Not just one, 30 of them. Not during school, but after school.
Lord, how?
You want to talk about a tough crowd, Dorothy.
I believe it. And I think adults are tough. I'm sure teenagers are tougher.
Dorothy, to this day, I just did, last year, October, I just did a tour around West Dallas,
Okay.
small community in Milwaukee, 4,000 young people.
Wow.
Gymnasium of 1,000 young people in high school. When I tell you, I was the most nervous I have ever been.
Because they can be so cruel.
Nope. Give me an audience of 300 adults, I can knock it out of the park. But give me 12 teenagers, and I am worried about something.
Yeah.
Because I really honor and respect those young people who are of our future.
Right.
And so my foundation in this work has really been around making sure somebody behind me or next to me gets ahead. We can't be selfish with all this great work. That's why I had to shout you out, because you're not being selfish with this content.
Let me do a little dance. Let's do a little double shoulder roll over here. Yes. Yeah. Listen, I feel like kids and teenagers absolutely make me nervous as well, more so than adults do. And while I don't do a ton of stuff with the youth as far as like presentations and programming, I definitely have, and they they make me nervous for sure. So let me ask you, as we're getting ready to dive into, presentation skills and why this is so important for the corporate hustlers, why do you even get into this space?
Oh my gosh! So I'll tell you, I was doing some citywide initiatives related to quality improvement, and so I'm working with adults. I'm working with adults, right? I'm working with managers and directors as they begin to galvanize their staff just around what change management looks like, right? Mm-hmm. And so whether we're going through a 3-part process or a 5-part process, one of the things I've learned is your presentation comes first. Whenever we're trying to look for someone to change behavior. See, now we're not just talking about telling a dope story, the fundamentals.
Right.
We're not just talking about having a great PowerPoint. For me, it begins with how do I change what you think, what you do, and how you feel. If I can change your thoughts, your behaviors, and your feelings, I did more than just a presentation, right? I actually impacted community, impacted people.
Okay.
And so for me, it all got started when I started doing that. I started saying, yep, I got a dope PowerPoint. Yeah, I got some nice handouts. But I want to make sure when I tell a story, it lands and it makes a huge impact. I want to make sure when I'm in an audience, I know them well enough to say, hey, let me lead you toward what can feel like a cliff to some people. And try to figure out how to make you jump, right?
Yeah, listen.
And that's what I found. Yeah, I don't make presentations for those who are easy to persuade, the early adopters. I'm thinking about the people in the audience who would look at me and say, your qualifications aren't good enough. I don't like the way you dress. I've been doing this 20 years longer than you, and I hate this new program. Now convince me, Jeremy. That's what really began this work with what I call Anapto.
Okay.
Anapto. Which in the Greek means to set a flame. Right? And so I found from people.
You get me all hyped. I'm like, okay, I'm putting on my listening ear. I hope y'all are putting on your listening ears. Look, Opulent Mindshift said, let me go get my paper and pen. And I just thought of the running emoji.
I mean, let's have some fun with it, right?
Right.
So I like to speak to the people that don't want to listen, right? And whenever I'm talking to folks that don't want to listen, when it came to Anapto, which is my presentation design company, I said people need to know that secret. People need to know that if you got 3 people in the room and you do the right things with them, they can go impact 10 other people.
Say it again for the people in the back. Say it again.
Listen, if you got 3 people in the room, and this is for anybody who's doing the presentation.
Okay.
I've done presentations where I've recruited 50 and 4 showed up.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm not talking about a 2-hour presentation, Dorothy. I'm talking about an 8-hour training with just 4 people. Dorothy, this is all the red flags are happening.
Listen.
Can they park? Do they know where I am?
Right.
Did I miss an email? Right? All of these things are happening. Y'all want to go through the laundry list of mess up? Let's do
it. Right?
And one of the things I found is those 4 people said they were glad they were the only ones who showed up.
And yes, and I've had those experiences too, because then it's like this whole one-on-one thing.
Yeah.
You get like that extra help.
Yes, they're getting training and they're getting some technical assistance.
Because that's what I be needing. Because I'm slow.
A little bit of coaching. And so my point is, I want to teach people how to have an audience that is not depending on a number or a camera or a title. I'm not waiting for Microsoft to call me before I become a dope presenter. I'm not waiting for none of those big names. When you run into this presentation, you've ran into the best.
Ooh, yes. This is like giving me life, right? Because I do think that sometimes we will put together a presentation for us to go to work or whatever, and we'll be like, oh, there's not going to be a lot of people in the room, or, no one from the C-suite is going to be there, so this isn't that big of a deal. And we don't always put our foot in it. Yeah, we just...
Even, I found that sometimes, if we want to be honest, Dorothy, you want to have a real talk conversation?
Can we please? That's my favorite kind. Look, you know how we do on Tuesdays. Here to snatch edges.
Exactly. There are some audiences that we cannot care less about.
That's true.
Some groups, maybe some content that we're delivering, and we're just like, you know what? I don't care that much. I'll do it later. Or I'm so dope that I can wait till the last minute.
Why is he coming for people? Like, it's not even 5:30 and he's coming for people. And he's also coming for me.
And remember, I'm telling y'all what I've done, right?
Listen, guilty.
Look, I've waited to the last minute to make the PowerPoint. I barely knew my audience. I wasn't enthusiastic about the content. Should I even been talking about that? That's debatable.
Right.
And I show up and I waste 50 people's, 20 people, 13 people's time because I'm less than my best. I'm less than my best.
Right.
How long will we go? Well, we're just accepting gigs because someone asked us.
Right.
We have to get beyond living from one gig to the next, and it begins with knowing what your conversation is, Dorothy. Yeah. Everybody has to have their conversation. I found out, for me, my conversation is leadership and youth engagement. That's it. Give me a room full of leaders, just like you. You've proved it time and time again, right?
Right.
You've proved so many times that when it comes to this corporate leadership thing, you got it in the bag. Well, I'm not going to judge a fish by its ability to walk on land. So I wouldn't be calling you, Dorothy, to do a presentation about how to fix a car.
Please don't, because then it might blow up. You know what I'm saying? I'd be like, yeah, just pull it out. Let me know if it works.
Look, you got a conversation.
Right.
So for me, I found that I love the art and the science of presenting. That's my conversation. Right. And I want to create a business where, giving me your money is automatically a good return on your investment.
So look, let's talk about the giving of the money. But then after that, I want us to jump into maybe the top three mistakes that you
Oh yeah.
see corporate hustlers making at work when it comes to these presentations. But one of the reasons why, listen, y'all, because you know we be up here, and this is the last of like the daily day to days with Dorothy. So I definitely want to go out with a bang. But I told y'all that I had done the presentation for Campbell's. It was
Uh-huh.
fire. I was like, this is everything. Low key, being honest, part of what made it extra, extra, extra litty in these streets, was my presentation designed by yours truly, Jeremy.
Wow.
That presentation, so I had a presentation that I thought like, this is fire. You know what I'm saying? I have an instructional design background, but let me tell you, while I'm a great instructional designer, I will always say I'm a far better facilitator, right? I did instructional design for years. He's got this ish on lock. You hear me? This presentation was so fire, so streamlined, and I feel like that plus my facilitation skills, fire, fire, fire. I got out of Campbell's and that chat was lit. Like, this was like corporate church. This was everything. This was great. And I think when you've got the presentation to match the facilitation,
Yeah.
or to match just, the public speaking piece of what you're doing, game worth every freaking red cent as far as I'm concerned. Yeah,
Dorothy,
absolutely.
I really appreciate that. I think people do underestimate the value add that your visuals can bring to what you're saying.
Yes.
It'd be like watching a movie with only volume,
Right,
right?
right.
And it sounds simple, but I've seen presentations where people are trying not to look at the PowerPoint.
Yeah, yeah, true.
You see what I'm saying? We've all been in spaces where people are just like, I love you, I love what you're saying, and you've had the thought of, oh, I can't quite see that picture, or that doesn't work against the light, right?
Yeah.
And so for me, I say, you know what? As I get excited when I find someone like you who knows their conversation, who can have it with their eyes closed,
Right.
who's lived it already, and I can say, let's make sure your presentation is at par with your conversation.
Yes,
And
yes,
so
yes.
it was an absolute honor just to figure out ways to make that represent your brand, make that represent your voice. And I'm sure your audience had a good time watching both of you and that visual play together. I'm sure it was
Yes, 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 absolutely. And y'all, as we're chitter chattering, we've got the pro. The presentation guru is here. So if y'all got questions, put them in the chat and I will go ahead and relay those to Jeremy, because when you've got two people on live on Instagram, it looks really tiny for the person who's the guest, and it's hard to see. But I will absolutely ask any of the questions that you may have. We have them here, so let's utilize this time. But Jeremy,
nice.
I want to hear from you. What are the top three mistakes that you see corporate hustlers making?
I think the first one is people, and I don't want to say this to offend anybody, but if we're having real talk,
right, we'll heal. We'll be all right.
We'll be all right. Many of us don't have a tool belt.
Tell me more.
So we're talking about science now. Forget the art part, right?
Okay.
The science of facilitation and presentation design is the ability to present something in three different ways. I'll give you an example. I've learned over the years that all I need to present is a flip chart, tape, and a marker. I keep it in my trunk, Dorothy.
Right, right.
We're being fancy if I pull out a flash drive with a PowerPoint on it. That's fancy.
True.
If I can't take my content and figure out how to keep you engaged, move the team forward with just a marker and piece of paper, if I'm not that astute to my content and that tuned in to my team, a PowerPoint won't save you.
Yes, look, he's out here giving people full lineups on a Friday. That is so freaking true. Y'all, how many times have you been at work and you've seen a crazy presentation? Or, the presentation has literally all the information. So why do you need the human being in the room with you? They could have emailed you.
Dorothy, you never want to make an emailable presentation. And that only comes when you do, and this is my second point. They're close together because I want people to start thinking holistically about presentations. So my first point is you should be able to give your presentation, depending on what it is. All I need is a marker and a good wall to write on or a flip chart, and I'm going to be just that engaged. Yeah. I should know my content that well.
Yes.
The second thing is sometimes we treat our PowerPoints like they are teleprompters.
Yes.
Right? Tell me what to say next.
Yes. And you know what's funny? Y'all, let me tell you something. If I didn't know my content, when I saw the presentation that Jeremy designed for me, I'd be like, what the hell? What am I? There's like a picture. What? You know what I'm saying? So yes, I feel like you have to know your stuff forwards and backwards, right? And if it's content that you created, of course you know it. I mean, hopefully. But yeah, yes, I couldn't agree more. Like, it shouldn't be, and I will say, I think, and tell me what you think, Jeremy. I think when we're first getting our sea legs with this presentation stuff, I think kind of having those prompts is a good thing to keep you on track. But as you get more seasoned in this space and this commitment to accelerating your ascent in corporate, push yourself to rally.
Well, and here's what I tell the people, because I also do coaching, right? So I've made for some people their presentation, but they weren't as skilled at facilitation, right? And or speaking. And so what I always tell people is this: you want to either have a note card or something, because when your PowerPoint presentation, every slide has 75 to 200 words on it, you should have just emailed it. Just email me. What are we? Is this a read along? What are we doing, right?
Listen, look.
What I always tell people is the reason why you don't want your PowerPoint to become a teleprompter is because it becomes one for everybody.
Oh my God! Right. Listen.
We all start reading that teleprompter. Right?
Absolutely.
And so you want to, like you said, perfectly fine. You want to put something in the PowerPoint that reminds you of your point.
Yes.
And sometimes what you can do, now watch this, Dorothy. This is something that I teach in coaching. If my PowerPoint is just the thing that prompts my next thought, my handout can be the thing that gives you more information that I won't say.
Ooh, I hope y'all grab that.
Listen, I'm about to people usually pay for this. I'm about to put the trinity of presentation together when it comes to visuals, right?
Okay.
The PowerPoint is a clue. Oh yeah, I'm supposed to talk about this. My words are the things that I'm using to motivate and engage you. Then I put in the actual handout. That's where I give you information that I don't put on the PowerPoint and I don't need to say. We may review it, but you take it with you. You see, you're not going to take with you everything I say because you might not be able to write fast enough.
Right.
You're not going to take everything from my PowerPoint because I didn't put everything on there. But I'm designing handouts in a way that remind you of why the information was important and what to do with it afterwards.
Listen.
2 things. Why is it important? It should be on that handout.
Right.
And what should I be doing next? They got to be actionable. And so if you can balance what you're saying, you're talking, you're giving them life, you're telling your points, because you know your stuff, you're gonna just be spewing nuggets and diamonds and jewels all over the room.
Right.
They're gonna be blinging when they leave just from your word.
Gems for days.
Gems for days, right?
Right.
A month later.
Right.
A month later, when your memory becomes fuzzy, the stress of your job has stolen some of your enthusiasm, you're going to need that handout that says, oh yeah, Dorothy said, and here's what I can do next. If we can, put all three of them together, and now you got a great start to a dope presentation.
Listen, we got hearts and IG. Ooh, and we have a question on Facebook. So
Nice.
Becky wants to know. Let me put on these spectacles, y'all. You know I be struggling. Okay, Becky wants to know, how do you identify your audience or niche? How do you build your instructional design skills for your audience?
That's a loaded question. So the first thing is, this is actually a question about credibility.
Ooh, okay.
Okay. So the science of credibility is this. People want to know why you're talking.
Yeah.
Before they want to know what you're talking about, when you show up, they want to go, who are you and why? Mm-hmm. You got three areas that can show that you should be having this conversation. Mm. The first area,
listen, because I'd be like, look, what are they? Do tell.
The first area is obvious, your work history.
Right.
People want to know that you've worked in this experience for a while, or you've done something exceptional that nobody thought about. Think TED Talk. Okay. We all go to TED Talk because we know there's somebody who has some experience and they're going to tell us about it. And usually they pick people who can frame it exceptionally well. And we go, I didn't think about that. Cool. Yep. The second one is your education. Now, education is more than just college. Yeah. Okay? You can have a certification in something or something like that. People want to know that your background, if you don't have it in simply doing the work that you've been doing for a while, we want to know, is it even plus or a bonus that you went to school for? And I say that education is a plus or a bonus because we can go to college and still not be good at a job. Right. I think that's clear, right? The last thing we want to talk about is your association. Most people who get called to a contract were referred by somebody else. True. And so the people that I'm sitting in the room with, I'm going, hey, y'all, I'm in a room with you and there's a presenter. I go, Dorothy called that presenter. There's something about Dorothy that I trust. Yeah. Then I'm going to lend that trust to the presenter that she called to us, and we're going to listen in and have that conversation. Or I've seen that person on the news. I've seen that person they wrote an article. I'm associating you with the body of content. That's one of the reasons why it's so important, Dorothy, that we all do what you're doing. You are creating an association by having constant videos on Facebook and Instagram. Right? So whenever I Google Dorothy or the communication strategist, I'm going to start looking at, oh, wow, she was in a live with this person. She was in a live with that person. Right, that ain't got to be your goal. But the point is, when it comes to credibility and identifying your audience and your niche, people listen in because they see those things present. Becky, what do you think? How was that? Let us know in the chat. And there was a two-part question. The last one about building your instructional design skills for audiences, right? Mm-hmm. And that was a little bit more in depth. I think the first thing we want to do is, whenever I'm teaching about, I have a presentation on how to start your the beginning of a presentation. Usually it's transpiring through an email, and they tell you, hey, we are looking to do this on this date, and we got this amount of money, or what do you charge? Right. Well, I start with talking about, you have to understand the ask of the person in order to design a presentation they need. I like that. That is the absolute truth. Yeah. So that ask is, hey, Jeremy, we want to know more about trauma with young people. I say, before I say yes, I say, give me a call. Okay. When I get on the phone with that phone call, I want to know, I'm skeptical, and they don't know this, I'm skeptical about what they really want. Yeah, because most people don't know. Thank you, Dorothy. They don't know. They think they know, but they have no idea. They don't know. So what I tell them at the top of the call is, I can do a presentation for multiple staff. I can do coaching for a few. or we can do a strategy session with leaders. Because do you see what I'm going there?
Right. And I like that there's different, like the value ladder, there's different places for them to enter. And then to make sure that they get what they need. Because a lot of times, when we're consulting with experts, we want to tell them the solution, right? Instead of allowing them to do a needs analysis to be able to give us that information. Even for me, all those years in training and development, they'd say we need a training. And I'd be like, listen, training is not a band-aid. Everything doesn't require training. Sometimes it requires something different. Sometimes it's will versus skill. Like there's all of these other factors. You cannot just throw training at everything. So
Dorothy,
I like that.
You're giving me so much life right now.
Listen, I was in that world for like ever. And they'd be like, we need this, Dorothy. And I'm like, no, what you really need is this.
Ooh. And I always say there's some things you can't train away.
Ooh, that part.
Listen.
Yes.
If you got 4 staff who are the ringleaders, positively, negatively, or indifferent, I can't train that away.
Right.
We can build out a coaching process where they can feel validated in their concerns, and we can move them forward, coaching individuals.
Yeah.
But I cannot tell you that I'm going to give a training on how to fix your attitude. That's not going to work, okay? We're not going to do it.
And listen, because so I do like a lot of diversity, equity, and inclusion work, and they'll be like, we need people to not be racist after this. Sis, that is an undoing of, attitudes, beliefs, and behaviors. That cannot happen in 3 hours, right? So this would have to be an ongoing experience. What we can do in 3 hours is create awareness. That's what we can do, right? And so being able to walk folks through this process and what they can truly expect, I think is also important. And Becky said, amazing. I am taking notes right now. Yes.
Perfect.
And for those of you who are just tuning in, welcome to the final day of Corporate Hustlin Week. We are closing out with a bang. We have got the presentation guru expert, Jeremy Triblett, is here. And we're talking all things presentation skills and why they are so important. So invite another lady leader, invite a gal pal, start a watch party on Facebook, or hit that little paper plane in Instagram so that you and your peeps can get this tea and snatch the edges right off of these presentations. I mean, for real. So I have another question. So I think we've kind of covered this, but I just want to be sure. Jeremy, in all of your expertise, do you think, because I know you have spent time in corporate as well, do you think having the skill of putting together polished, effective, efficient presentations can change the trajectory of your career? In other words, can learning this skill or hiring someone to do it for you, do you think that it could accelerate someone's ascent in corporate?
Oh my gosh, I'll take it a step further, Dorothy. I think presentation design should be a soft skill.
Okay, I hear that.
I think it is something everybody should know how to do and do well. Honestly, I do. Right. Here's why I say that. Because remember I said there's multiple different kind of presentations and there's elements to each one. Right? The ability to talk in front of people and not only do that, but articulate your perspective and potentially persuade them toward action is a leadership skill. Listen,
before you joined, I was chitter-chattering with the peeps and I said, you know what? You can always hire someone to write for you. You're going to have to speak for yourself.
Thank you.
Yeah. Every time. You can't be like, oh, I'm going to have Dorothy come say it on my behalf. No. You're going to have to speak for yourself, for sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
And if you can't speak for you, and if you can't speak to an audience, the question becomes, who can you lead? Listen, because you can't lead if you're not heard. I haven't find me a silent leader. Listen. And you know what's funny too? In one of my presentations, it's either the work your words or speak for yourself presentation.
something like there's a Harvard Business Review article that states that your ability to communicate effectively is one of the number one considerations for promotion.
Yep.
Yeah. So it pays to play in this space. It pays to get better and or to, in this instance, outsource it to somebody who's a pro, especially as you're continuing to accelerate your ascent and these presentations have a ton of eyes on them. Why not make it really good? I've worked in organizations where there are instructional designers like myself who work there, and they still will outsource that presentation to some like an organization like Anapto to say like, this is all they do. We're gonna have them design this because it's being presented to the board or it's being presented to these external clientele, and we need it to be absolute fire. Presentation skills and the ability to put together an impactful, effective presentation, there's money in that. And it's so important because I feel like, tell me what you think about this, Jeremy. I feel like, let's say you show up polished, hair done, makeup done, clothes are right, but then your presentation looks insane. It's kind of like, the same way it takes, someone 4 seconds to form that first impression of you. Now, almost immediately, they have this new impression of you, just based on how this presentation looks.
Oh, yeah. And Dorothy, I'll tell you this, right? I'll give some tangible examples. I have 3 executive level clients.
Okay.
One of them is working at a huge company, and they do global sales. This person came to me, and it happens to be a lady, and she says, listen, I've been in corporate America for all these years. I have shown that I can... Did I miss something, Dorothy?
No, I'm looking at this chat, and Becky just did like a whole capture of the notes that you shared around credibility and why am I talking. And so this is great for anybody who watches the replay. They got it. Yes, thank you for that, Becky.
Oh, thank you. Copy and paste, right?
Listen.
So I've had clients come to me and they say, you know what, Jeremy, I am a woman. I've been in this space for a while, and I've seen sexism to no end. Mm-hmm. I've seen colorism to no end.
Right.
And I'm ready to use all of my accolades, all of my accomplishments to start telling my story. This person sent me audios of moments in her career and life that shaped her. Listen to me. It goes back to Becky's question, how do I know my niche?
Right.
She sent me these audios. We reviewed them. And what I ended up doing for her is doing the research, statistics, data, all of that stuff, and even content focus. Mm-hmm. She had experiences and expertise that lended to really eliminating sexism in corporate America.
Wow.
And she's working in a space that doesn't realize she has it because she's done it for them. So she already has the credibility. It was my job to help her see how she can turn it into content. So I emailed her back title ideas, objective layouts, content links, so that she can begin the process of saying, if I wanted to make a training for an hour on my own experiences with my expertise, I know the audience I need, and I know the credibility behind the research in it.
Listen. Look, I'm telling you, I already said at the very beginning of all this, when that presentation I had for Campbell's was just all of the things, and I know it was because the facilitation was coupled with the actual presentation, the graphical representation of what I was saying, right? And that chat in there was lit. They were like, this is all the things. I'm ready to boss up and make boss moves. I'm ready to go out there and lead. I'm ready to become the plug. And I'm like, oh, yes, shoulder roll, Campbell's. I'm here for all of the magic. So look, we are going to be wrapping up in just a couple of minutes. Thank y'all for hanging in and inviting all of your peeps and sharing this video. So look, if you've got questions, we've got the presentation guru and pro here, right? Because after this, he might charge you. So let's ask him right now while we've got him. So if you've got any questions, it doesn't always have to be all of my questions. Let's go ahead and ask him. Becky, again, thank you for that download. Thanks for tuning in, Mommy a la carte and Fierce. Listen, Fierce Unapologetically is having a sale. Okay, so if you haven't had a chance to take advantage of that sale, I know I did. I got my shirt. But if you haven't visited Fierce Unapologetically on IG, go ahead and rally your life. TCS Mommy and Daddy. They said outstanding topic. Dressing to impress will not work if the presentation is not up to par because TCS Daddy is a former HR specialist.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Shout out to the HR specialist.
Listen. All the things. All right, Jeremy. So as we get ready to wrap up, let me think. The last big idea. One of the big ideas that Jeremy has is that the road of great presenters is filled with failure, fear, sacrifice, and persistence. Listen, this sounds like we're climbing like Mount Everest. Like, what we gonna do? What is all this? What is this big idea about, Jeremy? Talk to us as we get ready to wrap up our final session of Corporate Hustlin Week.
Thank you. I appreciate it. So I say that, and I speak to, there's a meme that says, your idea of success is a straight line, right? Mm. But then there are dips, valleys, rocks, and planks that you have to go over, right? And so for me, one of the things I've come to learn is that I still get afraid to do presentations. And whenever I've worked for an organization, the only title I've ever had was training and technical assistance. And I've worked for 3 of them. So I've been training for a decade every day of my life, and I swear to you, I still get scared.
Oh my God, there are some times that I just know I'm gonna lose my lunch, so I don't even eat.
Oh yeah. So fear is a part of the journey, and I believe fear tells you still respect the game. You got passion, you got hunger, you have all of that, and it's driving your force. So that's number 1, right? Yeah. You better keep that fear, keep that honor, respect, and reverence for this skill and this beautiful art. That's number 1.
Yes.
Right? So that's fear. But the other 3, when it comes to this road, I think for me, recognizing that you're going to be in moments where nobody wants to hear your voice. If you want to be honest about it. Right? I believe God has given everybody an audience.
Right.
And sometimes you and your audience ain't in the same room. That's fine.
Right.
That's fine. Right? But don't stop using it.
Yeah.
Make sure you're constantly practicing your craft. Right. That's the only way you're going to get better. And get it better doesn't mean being better than somebody else. Nope.
Yeah. Be better than yourself.
Oh my gosh.
Be better than how you were last week, right?
That's why my tagline is, with me, your next presentation will be your best presentation, not a better presentation.
Y'all, listen, dropping all the gems. She said, okay, look, Opulent Mind Shift said, okay, so I'm driving, but I'm stopped. And I have to thank you guys for this convo. This is one of those things I didn't know I needed. Listen, and I think that it's like that for presentation skills. It's also like that for leadership development. People be like, oh, I don't even know what that is. And I'm like, but wait, sis, let me help. Wait a minute, though. Wait a minute. Let's see. So, and Becky had a question, so I want to make sure we get to it. Where can we find more of Jeremy's trainings? I participated in a few last month. So, Jeremy, I think, as we're getting ready to wrap, where can we find you? What's coming up that's new and exciting? How can we keep in touch?
Nice. So the first thing is you can go to jeremytriblett.com. That's TRIBLETT, not Tribbett like Ty Tribbett. Jeremy Triblett, okay? Like 3 with a B. I always say that. Triblett like 3 with the B. Jeremy Triblett, 2 T's at the end. If you go there, you can become a part of the mailing list. People don't know this yet, but we're actually having a training on July 6th on how to create engaging PowerPoints. We're talking animations, videos, icebreakers that aren't corny. I'll tell you when you know you should put animations, videos, and PowerPoints. And then I'll tell you how you can do them. Okay? This is real stuff. For $20, you can get all of this life. All right. You can also, if you pay a little bit more, you can also get coaching and our toolkit so that you can have that handout that tells you why you learned it and what you can do with the information. The last thing is every month, I'm going to have a different training. There's going to be one on presentation design and another one. If you go to jeremytriblett.com, you'll find the other content that I offer. We're digging deep into how to engage young people as leaders. We're even talking about microaggressions and implicit bias. And so if you go to jeremytriblett.com, you can be a part of the mailing list, and I'll be emailing you every month with what's coming up that's next. Everything's always affordable, and everything always comes with the opportunity for handouts and even coaching.
Yes, for all of this, y'all. I'm telling you, if you didn't invite a friend, if you didn't do the little watch party situation, they're missing out on the juice, right? We talked about during Power Week who got the juice now. You know who's got the juice? The person with the bomb presentation, right? That's who's going to have the juice. That's who's going to get the power and be able to wield it accordingly as we slay in these corporate streets. Look, y'all, this has been a good chitter chat. I really hope that this has been helpful. I want y'all to share this presentation. I want you all to click that little paper plane in Instagram and share with a friend so that we can get our presentation live together. Jeremy was over here before 5:30 snatching edges and doing lineups, you know what I'm saying, in this presentation world and life. But look, here's what's true. As we get our leadership together, we want to make sure that we're prepared to hustle in corporate accordingly. It really is. It's a game. It's an arena. And you cannot go on the field with an actual football game going on and say, I don't want to play. I don't want to put my shoulder pads on. That's not how this works, right? You got to play the game. You have to volunteer as tribute. If you've got the job, you're in it. Right? And so I wanted to, this week, closing out the daily day-to-days with Dorothy, giving you tips and tricks that have helped me along the way that I wish I would have known earlier in my career or at least by the midpoint to help me accelerate my ascent. That's what I wanted for you. And that's why I wanted Jeremy to come on to help us close out and really kill it in these streets as we're trying to really tighten up how we show up at work and tighten up these personal brands that we have, because we've got to give folks the right messaging. Because if we don't, they'll curate it for us and they'll never do it right, right? So we've got to give folks right information, and the way that we show up powerfully and boldly with presentations, that's one way to do it.
Yep.
So y'all, if you have not signed up for the TCS newsletter, the link is in the bio. If you've not gotten your remarkable t-shirt, sis, what are you waiting for so that you can represent? And if you haven't gotten your copy of the plug, Become the Remarkable Leader Everyone Wants to Know, what are you waiting for? But also, the birthday bundle is only going to be available for about 5 more days. You know, us Gemini celebrate all month. But with the birthday bundle, you get the ebook, the t-shirt, plus the hard copy. So don't miss out. It's a great deal right now. And if you're part of the email list, if you're part of the council, check your email for extra special discounts because you've got extra coupons for your birthday bundle. So thank you so much, Jeremy, for taking time out of your schedule to come and chitter chat with us. This was good chitter chat. Good chitter chat. And then we have one last comment from TCS Mommy and Daddy. Skillful presentations is not a one-time experience. It takes cultivation.
Yes. Thank you. I appreciate you, Dorothy. Thank you for doing what you're doing and giving our community what you're giving them. You're the right person at the right time, saying the right things. I appreciate it.
Yeah. And on that note, y'all, shoulder roll. Have a fantastic weekend. And I will see you back here maybe on Wednesday because day-to-days on the daily are done. Quarantine is done. And now proceed to outside at your own risk. All right, y'all. Have a good weekend. Thank you, Jeremy.
All right, thank you too.
Bye. Okay, Facebook, thanks for hanging in there. You know you always get the last shoulder roll. Have a good weekend, y'all. I'll see you back here next week. Bye.